I know my mind is powerful, and I've known that for a long time. I think that's why I've kind of been so hard on my. Hi, my name is Alexis, and welcome to this video. Today, I am going to be talking about where I've been as a person, just mentally, physically, overall. And it might sound crazy if you're not coming into it with an open mind. So have an open mind watching this video, and also I have earplugs in just to put myself in my own little world. So let's get started. This video is titled 2021 has been what 2020 should have been, because I can remember in 2019 when we all were like, oh my gosh, 2020 is gonna be the best year ever, and literally the definition of jinxing yourself. Because obviously, as we all know, sorry, I should have put a trigger warning with like talking about 2020, but like, as we all know, 2020 was like the worst year ever for everybody, and I don't even have to go into detail about that. You know, we all envisioned that it would be just what it wasn't. And for me, 2021, this year, these past couple of months have been what 2020 was hoped to have been. And in that, I just mean, well, let's start from the beginning of 2021. I had been in the house from like quarantine for the longest time with my family, and I had 2 jobs, and it was just too much. It was just all too much, and it was mentally exhausting, physically exhausting. Like, I had 2 jobs and I was working like basically every day. So after a while, I just felt like I was an employee instead of Alexis, a person. And at home, you know, I mean, my family life is good, of course, but too much of one thing, I can't only be around the same stuff for so long before I just get exhausted. So to make a long story short, I had reached out to my college and asked if I could come on campus because of family issues. I just said that just so they would give me a reason, because like if you had home insecurities or whatever issues, they had like a select few that were allowed to come on campus. So I did that, and I was in the dorms from February to May, and I was rooming with one of my college friends. Shout out to Bree. And basically all of her friends became my friends. They welcomed me. Shout out to them. From that experience, like, that is the first time I've like, not the first time I had friends, but pretty much all of my friends have been rooted from something. Like, my first friend was because our moms worked together, so naturally we became friends, and then like it kind of just grew from there. So it was like family stuff, or we're in school, we have this class together, so hey, like, I don't know how to explain it, but this is the first time I was really just put in a situation where I was around complete strangers. And when I say that, I mean like the college transition, like reflecting back on it, was very, very hard for me to say the least. It was hard just going from being so familiar with my world and knowing everybody, having my own space, everybody knowing me, to completely around strangers. It felt like I was like stranded on an island, and it was hard. I had to share a room. It was hard to, I'm talking about my first year of college. It was hard to share a room, and just, it was very different to say the least. So this semester, my sophomore year, where I decided to go back to campus. I had my own room like a few months ago when I had decided to go back on campus, where it was like only about 60 to 100 people at first. It was very different. It was very different having like friends like start from square one, not just like, oh, we have this class together, so we've kind of talked here and there, just starting from the beginning. And it was very different, and I got to learn people and learn myself a lot, and that was really my first college experience. So I learned a lot about myself, and I learned to stop taking life for granted, as corny as that sounds. But I don't know, I just had a lot of time to reflect and sit back and learn myself in certain situations, what I like, what I don't like, why I don't like that, how my past has affected me. Just a lot. I'm happy I went. I'm very thankful for that, because I don't know if I hadn't gone back, if I would have just stayed in my childhood home here for the entire like March 2020 till August 2021, how I would have been. And I don't know if I would have wanted to be that person, because in these, let's say, 5 months, I've learned a lot of, it sounds redundant, but I've learned a lot about myself. And now looking back on the past, it feels like I've been in like a writer's block for years, and that's okay, because that's my process, and I'm able to reflect on that and see how to change that and simply better myself. Within these last few months, I've learned to take everything you can from life, use life as your library, reflect on everything, because this is your life. Excuse me. This is your life, and I feel like for the longest time I've just been trying to prepare for something instead of living in the now. So now I'm just focused on living in the moment, doing what I gotta do to get myself to a comfortable spot, and taking that mindset with things. Each little period, even a week, even the day, I reflect and say, how could today have gone better? How has today brought me closer to my goal of comfortable living? So that's just what you have to do to put yourself in a state of mind, in a clear state of mind, to just better yourself and not be in such a rut all the time, which I feel like I was for a very long time. And whether that's procrastination, it's always procrastination, and it's just in your head, because at the end of the day, it comes down to just doing it and telling that, not sponsored by Nike, but just doing it and avoiding that voice in your head telling you to do whatever laziness it's calling you to do. I'm sorry if I sound like a freaking crazy hippie, but I'm not, and I know I'm not. If I do, this is the first time I've done this type of thing. Usually my videos are just off the wall, me doing whatever, like, but there's like other aspects to me as a person, and I'm getting to know that. I'm becoming comfortable with that. So this YouTube channel is my life, my Truman Show, if you've seen that movie. It's just all aspects of me. And even I've learned that YouTube is a big part of my life. Like, I've been watching YouTube since I can remember. And it's always kind of been something I've wanted to do.
Hi guys, it's Lexii.
But somehow, for years, all these years, managed to avoid doing it and procrastinate. And that's an internal thing, but also it's an outside thing, because I'm sure you guys could imagine if I were to come out and be like, oh, I want to be a YouTuber. The response I would get from like family and stuff, the response I have gotten from family. But not that I ever said that. I'm realistic with myself to know, oh, this is, I can work to make this my career, but as for now, it's not my career. So I'm not even going to put myself in that world, in that fantasy. But it has been shot down, whether it's from family or friends, or like in high school when I would make little videos, even if they were stupid, it'd be like, oh, Lexii, oh, I saw your YouTube video, like, oh my god, you really is. And whether I choose to realize it or not, it probably did have some sort of effect on me, along with procrastination and all that internal stuff I have going on. But like, if this is what you want to do, who's gonna stop you from doing that? You've seen the payoff. You've seen people, this is like not my color. You've seen people like make living. You've seen people make careers and livings off of this. So why not? Everybody starts at square one. So why not get your process started and try? You're not putting all your eggs in one basket. You still in college. You have your options open, but be in each option equally. Or I don't even know if I'd say equally. I remember I was on a train headed back home from college one time, and I was listening to this guy have this conversation with this girl he was sitting with, and he was basically saying, like, with schoolwork and stuff, and he had an interest in music and all that. So basically he was saying, why are you putting more work into schoolwork and something where you don't imagine it being the end goal than what you do want as the end goal? So like for him, it's like, why would I'm putting in the work for school, but why would I not put in equally or more work into music, into something that could be the end goal? So that's basically where I'm at with myself. Right now, it's just waking up every day, living life with intention. Stop feeling bad for yourself. If you want something, go out and get it, because it's not gonna come to you. This world, stop thinking this world revolves around you, having pity on yourself, waiting around for the right time, because there's never a right time. Just do it. If you want something, go out and get it. That's basically where I've been at. My woman versus self. That's where I'm at currently, and I was trying to be in that space when I was on campus, but it just wasn't the same. When I was on campus, that was more of that was very different for me, because I'm always in my world, my space. So it was weird to be put in a position where that energy is now being shared, and you have to prioritize your time, and you're in a weird space where you're trying to manage your schedule, you're trying to be productive, but you're also trying to live your life and have fun, and just knowing that balance. And there was a lot of self-love taught while I was on campus. Yeah. I don't know. A lot of what I'm talking about now should probably be like its own topic, its own video. Like, for example, when I was on campus, I had done some podcasts. Oh my God, what am I doing with my eyebrow? I had did some podcasts with my friends and stuff, and it was like because that's the type of stuff I want to do, like emotional intelligence videos, like talking to people, just talking about my opinion and presenting my life experience for like other people to see, and one day for my kids to see, and I don't know. I do know, but it's hard to explain. It looks like I don't have any eyebrows. This is my first time doing this, and this is literally just one piece of all that goes on in my head, and just trying to sort that out. Now putting it into words and out there into the world. But there's a first time for everything. And I'm learning that. That's okay. If this video looks and sounds terrible, I don't even end up putting it out, that's okay, because I tried, I learned. I will keep trying and keep going on with these endeavors until I get it perfected, until I get to a place of comfortable living, ladies and gentlemen. That's the end goal. That's the end goal. I might sound crazy. 1, I don't care. 2, what Kanye West said: name one genius that ain't crazy. And do I think I'm a genius? Yes. I don't know. I think with things that powerful, that's kind of up for other people to dictate and say you are. But I know my mind is powerful, and I've known that for a long time. I think that's why I've kind of been so hard on myself for just letting the time go by and not posting, not doing this, not doing that, instead procrastinating and only making time for the rewards in your life, like just sitting around, being on your phone, watching TV. It's not time for that yet. It's not. I started like a whole bunch of like quotes and just thoughts, and putting all that goes on in my head into words. And one of the first ones is, this is not your time to be lazy. You still have homework and studying to do. And that is very true. That is very true. It's not my time right now. It's time to put that creative mind to work and start the creations and do the hard work. And in closing, do I think I'm a genius? That's up for you to decide, but also that's up for me to put out the contents of my brain, in which you would decide. My dog is barking outside of my door, but I do not have time for her right now. For my next topic, I want to talk about ADHD. Surprise, I have ADHD. And let's just talk about what ADHD is for a second. It stands for attention deficit hyper disorder. I don't know. Well, actually, I'm not gonna really get into like the textbook definition of what ADHD is. I, after some reflecting, have come to my own conclusion, my own theory, that ADHD really is just, for me, it's just taking in not too much information, but a lot of information. So it's like you're thinking about this, that. So sometimes your mind gets diverted elsewhere, and sometimes it's so overwhelming you just don't want to do anything, and that's where procrastination and laziness comes in. So, and then you get into the weird realm of like, okay, we're calling that a whole disorder, but doesn't everybody have that? We all avoid our problems, we all procrastinate, we all have broad ways of thinking and can take in a lot of information. So then you would ask yourself, is it really even a disorder to be like classified like a real thing? Oh my god. What was I saying about ADHD? Oh my god. See, this is what I mean. Like, I can have, like, one topic, I can have such a broad spectrum of things to say, so it can get overwhelming. So I write down a lot of what I'm thinking, and I had wrote down like what I think ADHD. Okay, I don't know, I'm feeling a little self-conscious thinking I sound crazy. Also, my mind is being diverted with the barking and shit, so if you want me to talk more about that, let me know. But anyways, so ADHD, I just think is like, if you ask me a question, maybe one person would think, here's the answer. I'm thinking, maybe this is the answer. Maybe this is the answer you want to hear, but also it could be this. If I'm this person, I may think this. If I have this experience, I may think that. Just so much. And that can be bad because it's just taking you into a world, and when really you're asked one thing. So it can cause you to waste a lot of time, which I have done. It could even be like in school when you're like retaining information. It could be in that, it could be in a lot of senses, just taking in so much information to where it would divvy your attention and your ability to stay focused. And I don't know, I could talk about this for a long time. There's probably a lot of research I could do on this to have more concrete things to say. It's like I have my own understanding, but I can only put that into words so well. But basically for me, it's like I could be in a situation and like see that someone's upset. Okay, I'm not going to use a made-up example to say what I'm trying to say. I'm going to use an example from my life that happened in when I was in college. And it's like these things would happen and I didn't know how to pinpoint like cause and effect. This happened, I felt this way because X, Y, and Z. But now reflecting back, I can. So, you know, there was a situation with one of the people I was on campus with and would hang out with, and they were having like roommate issues and stuff. And like they had kind of a breakdown, just crying, screaming, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, because I cared for that person, I was like there for, it's almost as if I was in that situation myself. So I remember that happened on a weekend, and then like the Monday I just felt so down and sad and like under the weather. And I was like trying to figure out, why am I feeling this way? Like I'm good. I don't know why, like what's making me so anxious, and just basically every negative feeling you can imagine. And now reflecting back, it was from that situation. So I don't know, it's just situations like that how I would describe my ADHD is just taking in so much information to the point where you can put yourself in someone else's shoes. And I think that's also why I thought I had anxiety for a while, because like certain situations would just like make me so freaking nervous and anxious and take over my life, and just, to my understanding, more than it would to a normal person. And who knows, maybe maybe I sound crazy, but I know I'm not crazy, and that's all that matters. I was like going through all these feelings, like while I was on campus, and just experiencing life in college, and it was just bringing so many new things, and that brought me to the point of, maybe I have anxiety. Maybe I know I have ADHD, because that's something I've known since I was a child. So by the time the end of the semester came and I was like getting ready to come back home, it was like I was in a place where I wanted to be evaluated, like reevaluated for ADHD, because that was something that was diagnosed when I was a child. But like I just want to be in the know about my life and what's going on with me. And ADHD with me as a child was more of the hyper, the couldn't sit down, couldn't get me to focus on anything type of thing. And that's not really me now. Excuse me. Let me drink some water. And that's not really me now. Me now is more of like if you look at, for example, my Pinterest, my Instagram, it's stocked up with stuff, but it's like, why don't you do something with all that stuff? You have all these creative ideas. Do something with it. Your YouTube channel, post on it. You have good ideas. You know where you want to be. So it's like, why not just do it instead of procrastinating and letting your attention just go elsewhere? Why not sit down and do what you gotta do? So I had a doctor's checkup and got evaluated. And the tricky part with diagnosing, in my opinion, is, okay, so I got a bunch of paperwork and questions, and my mom had to fill out some stuff just to get, not from my bias possibly point of view, her point of view too, all this paperwork and questions. But it's like, okay, these are just questions and paperwork. Is this really evaluating me properly? Is this like, how do I know I can draw the conclusion, the accurate conclusion from this? Okay, I have ADHD because I passed the test of the paperwork that was given to me, so it's hard. So fast forward, I got the paperwork done and stuff, and it came back that I'm more on the spectrum for ADD. People have such a bad conception when you hear things like anxiety, depression, ADHD, because there's such like bad stigmas around it. But even just like, for example, what I was saying about ADHD is literally, I feel like, just taking in too much information to the point where your attention gets taken elsewhere because you are so consumed with this, and you can take in so much information about that. So like, is that really something to have a negative connotation around it, a disorder? Because don't we all have that in a sense? I guess in ways we have it, some have it more than others, but we all have that in a way. But hey, I don't know. But yeah, it came back that I'm more on the side of there's ADHD and there's ADD, and the H stands for hyper, which was more of me as a child, and ADD would just be things like I've explained: procrastinating, attention, organization, stuff like that. And then for anxiety, the evaluation concluded that I have generalized anxiety disorder. However, when I was just speaking with the doctor about, my goals in life, like what makes me anxious, and like where's my head at when I like even wanted to come in to be diagnosed, and I just told her, in short, I want to be comfortable in life. I want to live out all my life endeavors, and I want to get things done in a timely manner. And just basically, she told me I'm on track, and that's a lot of people. And for me, I just have more of that drive to do it and to be there, when most people, not most people, I'm not trying to put myself on a pedestal. I'm just, from what she was telling me, it's just like I have a lot more drive and more of like a fire lit under me to get things done and succeed that a lot of people my age don't have. And it's like, I know I have this, but then sometimes, a lot of the time, for years, I would just listen to that voice in the back of my head telling me to just sit around and do nothing. But now it's getting to crunch time, where you gotta do what you gotta do to get moving and move forward with your life. So that's basically where I'm at. Like, having that understanding, it's like, okay, yes, you fell on the spectrum for ADD and anxiety, but it's like you kind of didn't at the same time. You know what you want to do. It's just a matter of do it. And that's why you're confused and you're upset, because you're procrastinating through life, and you know what you want to do. You know you have good ideas, but for some reason you just keep sitting around. And that's what's bringing the anxious and sad feelings. So it's like, what are you going to do with that? You just going to continue to sit around? No, I'm going to start posting my videos and get done what I need to get done. And right now, that would be, I'm trying to post every Monday. I'm trying to get my license, because it's about damn time. Need to pack up this room, and I'm about to be in college again, my junior year next month. So I need to get the show on the road, get things moving instead of lying around. Like I said, now is not the time to be lazy. So it's just a matter of doing it and ignoring that voice in your head telling you to sit around. It's interesting, like, I grew a lot from being in college a few months ago, the quarantine semester. But even from the end of that to now, I've grown, because I was trying it, even with the little things of waking up early, doing my makeup, trying to just do something and create a routine and structure for my life. I was trying, but it wasn't exactly working. Now I'm trying, and I'm actually writing down XYZ. You want to do this, you want to be here by this time, so put it all together and make it work. That's where I am now. Make it happen, make moves. Just do it. Not sponsored by Nike yet. Nike, holla at me. But then that's the thing. Does Nike want to sponsor somebody that's just sitting around not doing anything? No. Get to work, so they would even consider someone like you. Period. Obviously it's not easy. I've been in a good productive mode for the past couple of days. I don't know. I'm not going to be perfect every day, but you just have to experience life and do things and try and see what helps you. And for me lately, that's been like listening to podcasts, motivation videos, writing down all that I'm thinking, and just creating that future you want, creating that comfortable living. Have the idea of where you want to be, but taking the steps to get there. And you just gotta do that until you get there. Until you get to that place of comfortable living, of your, I won't say utopia, because there's no such thing, that's a whole video on its own. But I don't know, man. I was thinking the other day, and there is, guys, cute. I remember like just a few months ago when I was in college, and I would be trying to do things like go to bed early, wake up early, and I was like alone in doing that. Like my friends are like, why do you always go to bed so early? Grandma Lexii, blah blah blah. And it's like back then, just those short months ago, it's like I was trying to put myself in a routine, but I wasn't even like editing my videos, working towards anything. So it's like, in a sense, you were just going to bed, waking up early, doing your makeup for nothing if you weren't gonna like put that in use. But it was beneficial because it was getting me in a routine. It was setting me up to just give myself some sort of structure and a routine to live by, because we all need routine. We all need some sort of structure in our life, or else it's just anarchy. But now I'm getting myself in a place where it's like, okay, what you want out of life, like for the longest time, has really been like YouTube. And I feel like I was almost afraid to say that for a long time, because right now it's like not doing much because I haven't put that work in. So to say like, oh yeah, what do I want to do? I want to make YouTube videos. I want to pursue YouTube. It would sound silly, because then it's like, okay, like the questions I'd get back would be like, oh, well, how often do you post? How many subscribers do you have? Blah, blah, blah. Well, not much if you're not putting in the work, Now it's just in a place where it's like doing the work to receive the payoff I want, and balancing that with eventually school and friends and self-love and taking a break sometimes. It's just putting all of that together, and I'm trying, and I have no problem documenting that journey for me to look back on, to help others, for my kids to look at one day. It's like, this is what I want. So for years the question has been, why am I not 100% committed to doing it? The journey continues. This is a marathon, and it's long from over. I love eyeliner. Oof. But for some reason my left eye always comes out so bad. But we're not going to talk about that, because this is a chit chat get ready with me, not a makeup tutorial, y'all. And I love this bronzer. Bad bitch. Oh. Okay. See, I can have videos where I'm just being, I won't say weird, because I don't think I'm weird. Just being the, I don't know, goofball, for lack of a better word. That's kind of cringy. But I can also have videos where I'm talking about my life, because all of it is me. All of it is me and my experience. Like, they're not sisters, they're not cousins, they ain't neighbors. Okay, I think that's about as much as I'm gonna do, because I'm gonna end up with them like both streamed across my face. Okay, I really need to use the bathroom. Okay, I am back. I think I was starting to talk about this, but then I went off on a tangent, which I do a lot, which is like, is that ADHD, or is that just how the human brain works? Is ADHD even a thing? I don't know. That's not my business to find out. Or is it? I've realized about myself that, yes, I have ADHD, but what is it in me that has like a work ethic, and even the desire to want to film a YouTube channel? And really, past YouTube, between you and me, past YouTube, it's so much more. Like, I would love to do everything. I would like to produce movies and like make books, be an actress, like all of that. Just create. I would love to do that because like just in my notes alone, it's so much going on. YouTube is this small, it's like the step towards so much. It's like YouTube is my compass if I will allow it to be that. Did I just go off on another tangent? I was trying to say this is why among that list a podcast, and I was actually putting that in the works. I did a few podcasts with my friends, I don't know if I said that, called Gray Area. It's gonna be great. So like, you know, like when if somebody's not talking about a certain thing, it's like that gray area, because it's like so many things in life for some reason we choose not to talk to and we talk about, and like it's taboo or we don't want to be judged, so we just don't talk about it. And these are our lives we are living, so why are we choosing not to talk about it, you know? So that's where I want to go with the podcast, just talking about life and experience and childhood, trauma, dating, everything, careers, endeavors, all of that. I literally just got thrown off from what I was about to say again. I was going to say my theory for like my work ethic, as small as waking up early, trying to get things done and just check them off the list. Not only is it fulfilling to get things done early, but I think it's from school, because it's like school is the first thing I've had to commit myself to against my will. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but like that's the first thing I've had to do. So being a kid, ADHD, flying off the walls, doing this, that. School is the first time I had to tone it down and do A, B, C, answer the prompt, do that. And I've always been good in school. Can I credit that to my mind? I think so. Because like if there's so much going on here and you want me to answer one thing, I can answer that. I can do it. I could probably do it in a lot of ways and like answer how I think you want me to answer, like what you want me to say possibly. Like school is the first thing that like had to be done, that like put fear in me, like from my mom, like you gotta get these grades, you're not in school to be a dummy. If you don't have school, there's not much you can do, which yeah. So I think a lot of times I compare everything to school. If I'm confused about something, if I were handed a packet with that question that I'm wondering, why am I stressed out? It could go to several different aspects of why, what that could be coming from, how I could go about it in the future. That's just an example, but for like lack of me being able to think of anything else, but it's almost like everything I can compare back to school and having to put yourself on a schedule and do something by a certain deadline or you'll face the consequence. And I've been able to do that, yes, with procrastinating, but I always get the assignment done and I always give it my all, answer the prompt to the best of my ability, always. And it's like, why am I not applying that into other aspects of my life? So that's what I'm trying to do now, and that's what I'm trying to make it. That's why I'm trying to make it a habit, because like once you start doing the hard things enough for long enough, they get easy. When you're first working out, of course it's gonna hurt, you're gonna be sore, you're not gonna want to do it, but the more you do it, the easier it gets. And I'm saying these things and it's sounding like duh, but these are the things, like it can all be so simple. It's like just go out there and do what you gotta do. Somehow we always find a way to not do that. including myself. So here's me trying to detach myself from that lazy, procrastinating part of myself. And it's gonna be there still sometimes, but we gonna work to get her up out of here. Period. Like, I have so many YouTube ideas. Like, if you were to go to in my notes, I have so many, not even YouTube, just in general, ideas and things I can create. It's just stacking up in there, waiting to be worked on and exposed to the world. But something in me just always just leaves it there. But no more. No more. So, to that, if I can give any advice, if you'd want to be taking advice from me, I don't know, write things down. Ask yourself, what do you want out of life? What is my purpose? How am I going to get myself to the comfortable living that I wish to be in one day? Write it down, and then you work. You work until you do it. You work till you get the reward. There's a risk, there's a reward. Sometimes you'll get the risk, and the risk is inevitable, really, but you just got to go out there and do it. The way I see it is like our childhood selves, and I kind of compare that to school as well. Like, my elementary school self, like, put every situation that I'm in that world in elementary school. And that even helps with, like, if somebody I might be intimidated by, or an adult that it's like, oh, this authority figure, if you just shrink them down to, like, being a child, it's easier, because that's like, those are like the simplest times. And a lot of times when figuring things out, it's just like shrinking it down to the basic. Don't make it so complicated. Just figure your life out. And it sounds easy. It's easy to just sit here and say that, but to actually do it, it's a whole nother can of worms. But we all just want to be in a place where we can be our childhood selves, sitting around, watching TV, doing whatever we want. But you gotta work to get there. You gotta work for that ultimate reward where you can just, and I have the understanding that I am nowhere near there. But what am I gonna do to get there? That's the question. And that's the question and answer I will be chasing until I get there, as I should. Like, for my YouTube channel, I have so many ideas. I want to do like cooking with Lexii. I had this cool idea, like, to do Lexii's Declassified Life Survival Guide. Like, and of course I have these ideas in my head, and saying them out loud is like, oh my god, shut up. But, like, just do it. Everybody starts from somewhere. Everybody has their humble beginning, so start yours. Start your journey. So the quicker you start, the quicker you get to the place you want to be. To be childhood Alexis all the time. Because you can't, in reality, I can't be that childhood joking Alexis all the time. I can work to that comfortability, to that comfortable living, but right now the reality is that's not where I'm at in life right now. But I'll work to get there. But procrastinating and sitting around is not gonna help. I have so many YouTube ideas, so many, and it's like, you see, like, I remember when, like, Emma Chamberlain and Kelly Stamps were like small channels that I would just see randomly on my YouTube channel. And not to say like they're my inspiration or like the YouTube content that I aspire to be, but just for example, I just remember those being small channels, and like, look at where they're at now. I know it's possible. I know it's possible. And it might sound crazy, but that's where I need to like stop caring about what other people think and just do what I gotta do. Because if I know I can get myself to a place where being childhood Alexis and joking in my videos and all that can make me a career, why would I not want to work to that? And I'm realistic with myself, that I know, like, oh my gosh, I want to move to LA and become a YouTuber. Like, no, that's not my goal. That's nowhere near in sight to even be a goal, and I'm understanding of that. As long as I do what I gotta do, keep it realistic with myself, keep it real with myself and everybody else. That's all I can ask of myself, and that's all she wrote, I guess. I'm done talking. I'm just gonna finish my makeup and close out this video. Outfit review. Oh wait. Wait, how can I show this? Okay, so I have this shirt on with these pants. These like cargo boy shorts. I got this chain. You know, if the lace is showing, can we just normalize the lace showing sometimes? Like, can we stop being so mean to each other? And to close this video out, as I said, I write a lot, and I was looking through this notebook I have, and I saw this thing that I wrote down that I wanted to read for you guys. It says, "We shouldn't strive for this constant happiness, this utopia. Thus it is irrational. Sadness is inevitable. Your wishful thinking, wildest dreams, aspirations, where you hope to be in the future will all eventually become numb, thus bringing sadness. Therefore, enjoy the short bits of happiness and appreciate the sad moments. And remember, today will never happen again."